we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market, the XRP price chart. Take a peek over there at the stock market, which is set to open up in the next 2 minutes. Quite mixed today on Fed Day. We'll look over there at precious metals like gold and the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. And then, of course, we'll look over there at any type of financial news that seems important or crypto news that seems important. Maybe today, finally, there'll be something. Usually not. We'll find out. Either way, welcome to Markets in the Morning. It is Wednesday. Let's kick it off right.
It is Wednesday, my
All right, there we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in on this fine Wednesday. I've been very detached from the market for the last few days because I've been a little bit under the weather. I'll fill in on that in a second. But yeah, I've been spending this morning looking at, boy, we've got a really fragmented market right now, right? You've got some stuff that's just way up like this. You've got a lot of stuff that's just kind of taken back the entire Trump pump. It's totally mixed out there on what's going on. So we'll look through a lot of that stuff right now. And then the sentiment over there on Twitter is crazy. But so I guess I'll just fill you in really quick. Before everybody just gets into like, here's my medical advice for you. Okay. Like, refrain yourself from it. I'm okay. It's 2025. I have C19. That's kind of crazy. Like, totally didn't think that would be the thing. But yeah, I've been under the weather for a little while. And, remember back in the day, like you just had like a scratchy throat. You're like, oh, better take a C19 test. Yeah, I'm like dying with a 102 fever for 3 days. And I'm finally like, oh, wait, maybe I should take one. What do you know? Now, also refrain from your, oh my God, you're always sick, BCB. I haven't had C19 in 3 years. The reason you guys say that is because when I had it 3 years ago, I got it 3 times within a 6-month period, but I haven't had it in 3 years. So that's how long it's been for me. But crazy, it's 2025. What is going on here, man? Anyway, I woke up today for the first time without a fever, and that was really nice. And so, I was real worried about it. I was kind of like, oh, man, dude, how do I cancel Markets in the Morning? How do I cancel a Fed meeting? Like, even with C19 in the past, I still show up, right? And I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? And fortunately, for the last night was the first night I got a real solid, like 6 hours of sleep. So we're back in the saddle. All is well in the universe. And hopefully today is a good day for me. And hopefully it's a good day for the market. So looking over here at the XRP price chart, still just waddling around up here above $3. We're at $3.06 as we kick off the day. Bitcoin, this is what I talked about in Monday's video. There's really the most sense that I can make out of the range that we're currently in right now. Until something changes or looks different, this is really the best analogy I can make to what we have happening over here in Bitcoin is just it looks like distribution happening in here. In addition, back in 2021, this is when the dominance had fallen back down into this area down in here, and it took this ABC correction happening in distribution before the next leg of the dominance continued to fall down, which of course is what we've been talking about over in here. We just so happen to be in the exact same setup happening over there in Bitcoin as we did with this exact same time frame with that ABC correction happening in here. And then you look around throughout the market, what's happening. You got just Bitcoiners parading around that altcoins were dead and all that kind of stuff, right? Just because it's a real fragmented market, right? You've got some stuff that's just kind of taken back the whole thing. You got things like XRP, Hedera, Cardano, all still holding them up. You got stuff mid-pack like Chainlink and whatnot. About half the market's mid-pack, a quarter of the market's like this, and the other quarter is taking it back. But, when you look at it from that perspective of the dominance in there, things still seem right on track for where we should be right now. So, when I'm unwilling to kind of like be fully on is, has this finished just yet? Is there going to be one more little dip that comes down here just a little bit more before it reverts its way back up? I'm not sure. I think the thing, though, that if we saw Bitcoin get back up in here to like $106,000, I think we'd all be kind of sitting on the edge of our seats at that point, waiting for that dominance to finally, break the support and finally start heading on its way down. So I'm optimistic that's where we are right now. And altcoin capitulation seems like the right thing to be happening before a move like that happens. It's what we also saw back in October of last year before things started taking off. Everybody's a genius now at this point, right? I think one of the biggest pains for the market is the meme coin market. I think the meme coin market has gotten utterly slaughtered. And I think that's the thing that's probably hurting people the most at this point. When Trump launched his meme coin, it was almost like a black swan happening into the meme coin market, and memes just got obliterated at that point. And so I think a lot of attention was probably over there on memes, and that's where a lot of that pain is happening. And then anything Ethereum related right now is really struggling at this point, and the sentiment of Ethereum is really down. People in the XRP community have like no clue of what's happening throughout the rest of the market, of like the sentiment happening out there. Because this is also impacting the sentiment too. It's why people are yelling about XRP, angry at XRP, because the rest of the market, it's not performing as well as this is right in here. So for the XRP holders going through 2022 and 2023, kind of being like, why is everything moving except for XRP? It's like the polar opposite right now. Like people are so angry at XRP because it's the only thing up. It's not the only thing. Yeah, Hedera and you got Cardano and stuff. But, it's the top 3 coin, right? So everybody's paying attention to it and angry at it because everything else is kind of struggling. But yeah, it's a real interesting dynamic throughout the market right now. As for things like XRP versus Bitcoin, still just humming along in here. Looking fine to me for XRP versus Bitcoin. I think eventually it's going to just start rampaging its way up. And what I'm really curious of is that's going to start here in the next couple of days. We know that the Fed is supposed to pause today. We just see that in all the data. The 2-month yield hasn't moved. This thing's been the thing that's been really the, obviously we get the data from here. It gives us a 99.5% probability that the Fed is going to pause. They're not going to cut today. But either way, this thing gives us the assurance of whether or not that's accurate or not. And definitely, it still just says that we are going to be paused. There's going to be no cut. It's just going to be chilling. So we'll go into that. But I'm actually optimistic that we may see something like a catalyst from this. We'll see how stocks do, right? Russell 2000, of course, we've talked about how this cycle has been very different from past cycles. I won't spend too much time harping on that, but this is the major thing. Like with us being literally right here at this point in time right now, this is our point where it is literally acted on the day the whole way. Is something going to happen in this Fed meeting that's going to be a catalyst for this thing to get going and for something to happen with the Russell, right? And I think that's obviously the thing we're waiting on too. You look for macro conditions to happen at the same time, you look for the Russell to move, you look for all these things, and then it opens up breadth at the same time. So I'm real curious today if we actually are going to play the frog during the Fed meeting, which is weird to think because we know they're going to pause, right? Like they've been cutting, are they going to pause? And it's always a weird dynamic when it comes to the Fed, because we've talked about this a lot throughout the past, that, you go throughout history and look at Fed cutting cycles, and they haven't historically been bullish things. They're typically bad things to happen. So is the market going to celebrate that we're not actually in a real cutting cycle, right? It's weird, right? It's such a weird dynamic to try to read it in that manner. But, look through past cutting cycles, and they're usually not good. So is our cutting cycle over? Was that it? We just got like 1 basis point and that's it? Maybe. Or, 1 point and that's it? Maybe. We'll see. So, of course, we will live stream this today. That live stream will start approximately around then, I start about 5 minutes before that is, so figure out whatever time that is for you. I think that's very close to 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Central. So what we do is we live stream this when the decision comes out. We see how the market reacts to it, and then we watch Jerome Powell speak, and then we call it a day. So that'll be later today. Tune in for that one. Otherwise, market's just kind of humming along today, and no big moves. I think we're waiting for a catalyst to emerge in here, and then we get the decision on this thing if we're ready to get this party going. And this thing, I'm writing a newsletter right now. Of course, one of the things we're talking about is this right in here. Still, just to kind of remember, if things get carried away, if February is epically awesome, to just remember this is late stage stuff, right? So this is like. If we end up getting that, that's late stage ending stuff. And we're talking about being over by the end of February or early March. And that completes your 4-year cycle. And crazy to think that it could be that close. So, all right, there you go. XRP chilling, Bitcoin, crazy range that it's been stuck in since November, right? So still continuing on in that range. Total 3. Again, this is just how fragmented the market is at this point, that some stuff has gone back to the lows. You got some stuff at the highs. I mean, it's just polar opposite, right? You got XRP at all-time highs, and then you got like Ethereum-related things that are back down at their all-time lows. It's super fragmented right now, but Total 3 still sits bucked up here trying to fight against the all-time high right now. Ethereum, we've covered this on the channel several times. I went ahead and just posted it over there on Twitter too. Of course, this thing breaks out. Look throughout history, it's like a perfect time. It's a perfect time for that to be happening and something like that to be occurring at the exact same time. So, sentiment in the trash can. Everybody on Twitter is a genius. Selling my Ethereum right now. I think everybody's just reached their breaking point. And typically before breaking points, when breaking points get reached, that's where the market will wrong foot everybody. So, all right. There you go. That's the big thing we're waiting on, is to see what happens in the Fed today, and what the volatility will look like. Again, there was so much volatility when we started the week this week with NVIDIA selling off massively, and then creating like a negative 1,000 point opening for the NASDAQ. Then eventually I think it ended up closing like negative 600 or something, and then it recouped like 300 of that. But still volatility over here, waiting to get through the Fed. Typically today is going to be volatile. Tomorrow is going to be volatile. And then we see things kind of start to settle by Friday to figure out what their true trend is going to end up being. So when we do the live stream today, I don't typically do any analysis or thoughts on what the market is doing post FOMC. Because we could see a lot of reactions happen in the market that aren't real. We could see prices shoot straight down during the meeting and then recover by the end of the meeting. We can see things shoot straight up when the meeting comes to a conclusion, only for it to reverse over on itself and go the opposite way. It could usually be a highly volatile moment. It can be a moment. It could be a reversal moment. It could be all kinds of crazy stuff that happens during those Fed meetings. So I don't usually do any analysis on it or true thoughts on it at the end of it. If something crazy happens, we'll play the frog. But otherwise, we just kind of wait for the market to settle tomorrow. And then on Friday, hopefully we have a better idea on where the trend is starting to emerge and where we're starting to head over there. As for gold sits at 27.58, still just hovering up here near the highs at this point. Funny to see it, right? Gold rampages up, crypto stalls out during that whole run up in there. DXY pulling back, got 5 waves down, probably pulling back up here to wave 4 to only turn over and continue heading back down in here. But we'll pay real close attention to see if we have confluence of things happening in the market with everything when we get back in here. So if this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an ABC, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be looking for a confluence to see if that's going to end up being support in there, because the question is going to be, is the equity market going to be able to sustain itself any longer after this with these valuations happening out there? So we'll see about that, but I do think we're actually just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This thing's probably going to stall out up in here and continue rolling over. We'll see what the crypto market does during that time. again, when it comes to yields, no indication that there's going to be any type of cut that happens in there. If this thing suddenly drops 25 basis points when we go live later today before the announcement comes out, we'll of course show that. But as of right now, it's still sitting exactly where it was during the last Fed meeting. So it is anticipated that they will just remain paused, 99.5% probability. So there you go. That's what you got to start off your day. Ranging action over here for Bitcoin, bucking up against the all-time high for XRP. And it's crazy. It's crazy how bearish the world is out there. Crash, retrace, reaccumulation, back to the high. Crash, retrace, reaccumulation, back to the high. How many shorts exist out there right now? It's crazy to me. I do think this thing's going to eventually just blast its way out of there with all the things we talked about with the dominance, all the things going on over here with XRP versus Bitcoin, and just price actions of what we've got in here. So I think we'll get out, just waiting for the market to set its trend. It's not going to do it by itself. It's going to do it with the rest of the market. So, all right. I think that's it for charts. Let's go ahead and dive into the wonderful world of news. Trump media surges after expansion into financial services, including crypto and ETFs. Crypto, yeah. Well, so let's think. Man, when was the last time we were together? Boy, so we've had the executive order since the last time we were together, right? Boy, that caused a ruckus, didn't it? Digital assets being the discussion and no mention of Bitcoin. It just caused an absolute uproar. And there's a reason why XRP is the one being attacked, of course. And it's because, well, look at the price charts, threatening to go on a massive bull run. Nobody else is as big of a threat at this moment right now. So, of course, this is the one under the attack by Bitcoiners, and especially with the regulatory SEC not having their thumb on top of XRP anymore. They're doing everything they possibly can at this point, but I think it will prove to be no help. And I'm curious how many shorts are being built right in here that is just going to blast out and just wreck. So, all right, there we go. Frontier Airlines proposing merging with fellow budget carrier Spirit. Wow, we can just add worse and worse and make the worst. All right, Super Bowl ads beckon up to $8 million a piece for Fox. Man, why would you spend $8 million on an ad to just such a that's a weird thing to me too, why people would spend that kind of money. Okay, because you're just getting such a broad audience, right? All right, Crypto Daybook America as Trump exports Bitcoin enthusiasm as price rebounds. Investors eye the FOMC. I don't even, where's the news in here? All right, moving on. Here we go. Typical BCB news coverage. All right, editor shorts. Crypto.com was to delist Tether, USDT, and 9 other tokens in Europe on January 31st, which, by the way, I just saw that come through on my feed maybe 15 minutes before I went live, that Tether just minted another $1 billion. So that's typically a good sign when things like that happen. Bitcoin drop under 75K before April has under 10% chance, says analyst. You should go and build your own AI agent, said Jesse Pollock, ex-Hall of Fame, right? So that's the guy from Base and Coinbase, right? How Lunar New Year brightens Bitcoin and crypto trading. Okay, we have Chinese New Year coming up. Warren probes Trump's commerce chief pick, Lutnick over Tether dealings. Poland overtakes El Salvador in global Bitcoin ATM count. Fake DeepSeek token hits $48 million market cap amid Chinese AI app hype. Bitcoin self-custody shields users from institutional risks, says Trezor. Trump's executive order sparks $1.9 billion of inflows into crypto ETPs. MicroStrategy proposes 2.5 million share offering to fund Bitcoin purchases. And there you go. There you have it. So that's your news. I hope you enjoyed it. When it comes to the crypto market, still stand by this. This just seems the most probable to me, especially with what's going on over in here. And this is what I'm going to be waiting for as we get to the FOMC. So that'll be in 4 hours from right now. Tune in for that. And then we'll do that whole thing together. There you have it. Again, I think that the story of the day is just such a fragmented market right now. And Ethereum taking the blunt of it and anything Ethereum related. And meme coins taking the absolute pounding. of what's happening in the market. So XRP holders, XRP holders would have no idea. They would have no clue the sentiment is so bad out there. But started looking around and like, holy cow. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat. Again, if you're just tuning in, we'll make it really quick. Again, please refrain from the medical advice. I'm fine. But it turns out I have C19. I didn't think that would happen. But I'm feeling much better today. That caught me by surprise. I found that out last night. And hi, it's 2025. Like crazy. But I'm doing better. I was real nervous about today because I haven't had a good night of sleep in 3 nights. But we got it. The 4th night was a charm. We're all good now. All right. Bulldog 589 gifted 5 BCB memberships. Brother, thank you so much. Aaron Foss, XRP has already gone from 50 cents to over $3 in 3 months. That's a big move. Is it possible we front ran our blow off top, or is my thinking foolish? Well, it's back at the all-time high, so it's got some resistance here at the all-time high. I don't think so. It moves with the rest of the market. I've given all my analysis on it, right? Crash, retrace, reaccumulation, double tap on top of the high, bull flag. I do think it's going to break up to the upside. I think it's going to be glorious. I think Bitcoin maxis are going to be our exit liquidity. I think they're going to buy our bags office. I think it's going to have the best narrative in the history of the universe. And they're going to be the ones buying the top. So the redemption arc will be amazing. So Aaron Foss, thank you very much. Arm Day, hey BCB, I hope you V-bottom out of C19. Will you be pretty vocal when you're selling crypto beside XRP? Yeah. When I do it, I post it. I do that every time. Right. You take all the criticism in the world. Everybody wants to make you the punching bag when you do it, but I always do it. I don't ever do the whole after a trade's in profit, then I tell you about it. Right. You have to be able to recognize when people are doing that on Twitter. Oh, price is way up. By the way, I'm long. Oh, price is way down. By the way, I'm short. I always, if I do anything big, I do it real time. And that, makes me the punching bag, but that's what it's what you're going to get here. So, proud father of 5. Hey, BCB, thanks for everything and wishing you and your family the best. And when it comes to markets, LFG. Brother, thank you very much. Proud father of 5. Mike Christensen, BCB, TXMC says he doesn't think we'll have an alt season, and he said he doesn't see a scenario where capital flows from Bitcoin altcoins. What's your thought on this? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I obviously have a different one. He's welcome to his own too. Mikey Collectibles, Bitcoin maxis are irritating. If I get told I'm being enslaved one more time, thanks for your videos, BCB. Thank you very much, Mikey. Jason Emerson says, I appreciate your leadership and honest feedback. Here's $20 for some chicken noodle soup and shot of whiskey. Let's make BCB not sick again. Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate it, man. Very kind. Yeah, no, it was the last few days that were rough. And just so you know, if you want to know what the symptoms were, it wasn't that bad. Like headache score, 2 out of 10. Cough, 3 out of 10. Sneezing, 3 or 4 out of 10. Sore throat, 0 out of 10. The only thing was the fever. The fever was annoying. Constantly being cold, constantly being hot, getting underneath the covers and shivering, and then being hot, sweaty, all that kind of stuff. I would say the most annoying thing about this one was the fever. In the past, when I had this thing 3 years ago, I remember headaches were the worst thing for me. That wasn't really the case this time around. Andreas, I know you hate alt questions, but since you hold ADA, you have a support area for ADA later. What's that violent back test comes? Love to hold. You have a support area for ADA later for when that violent back test comes? Well, it likely would set a new high and then kind of just back test the top on where it's at right now. And right, it's all theory. If something starts emerging differently, like what I want. Let me go see if I can. Dang, I wish I had the chart up. I wasn't prepared for this. I'm going to pull up an XRP price chart real quick. All right, this is essentially how things went, right? Like essentially this is the big aggressive move. Then things start slowing down, right? And then eventually parabolas form. So your question is, are we already here, right? Are we moving something on like this right in here right now? And this is kind of dragging on. Right. And you're something like in that, right? Maybe that was already it. The thing that if we pop out of here like this and we say go to 450 or something, there'd be no choice but for me to like come on here and say, look, man, it's really realistic that it could happen, right? It's possible it won't happen if we've already kind of started working on things like that. And this is another thing where, like, if you caught my video the other day, it's like, well, as long as we don't set a new low down in here, nothing gets structurally broken, because then it comes, all right, are we already kind of starting to flash that thing down, and then it's going to recover on like so, right? And then it's just going to recover and then go for the parabolic top. The usual thing that you end up doing, the way these things tend to go, is that we eventually get out, right? And you'll shuffle around, and then you'll whack it. Very similar to that, where you eventually get a short squeeze at the end, right? Everybody comes convinced, oh, wait, we're ready to go. It goes up one more time, euphoria sets in, and then it just whacks it. And then it turns its way up, and it continues going even higher. Does that end up being the back test of the previous all-time high? Maybe. Does Cardano looks very different than what XRP is, right? If Cardano was back at the all-time high right now, that we could start saying things like that, but it's not. This would be the most common thing that you would have, and then this thing would just continue marching on until it gets, 8, 9, 10, 11 bucks. So with Cardano, not sure until we start seeing price action, but you would expect prices to go higher first before something like that would occur. Chris Rhodes, BCB, try Australian garlic to help with the C19. Yeah, I knew I was going to get all the different types of medical voodoo magic. Studies have proven it's effective. Specific garlic strain grown in Australia. Thank you very much, Chris. Member for 1 month. Appreciate it, brother. Dave's guy, hey BCB, I know some alts are holding up well, but most are crushed. Can you show us your custom breadth? I'll have to pull it up later. I don't have it on right now. I assume it showed up. Yeah, last time I checked, it's definitely cruising down. Texas takeover. But yeah, breadth has completely chilled out. And that should be evident by what we just talked about with XRP being like a XRP, Hedera, Cardano being the leaders, and then you have your mid-pack and you have your laggards. This market has chilled. Texas takeover. Is today the day, Moon? We'll see. The thing that we're going to want to see, like, you need to see it, is, right, if you don't want to see the Russell 2000, then suddenly start doing that, right? We want to see the Russell get a move up, right? We don't want to be seeing this being what's going on with the Russell 2000, right? And for things like XRP, I don't think we should be going below that level anymore. That should be it, that 266. Now, you could fire up, and then when that happens, it's just violent and it gets all the way back down in there. That could definitely happen in a liquidation event. But as of right now, in this phase of making sure this market isn't breaking down, that's really the point that I'm watching right now, down there at 266. And I think it's probably okay. I mean, look at where we're at. Is this any unusual behavior for you to be having up in here? Not at all. Totally normal. Crash, retrace, reaccumulation, trying to buck your way out of there. And everybody's shorting the high. And then the shorts end up becoming the juice to get the full-blown crack through. To eventually happen. So I'm sure shorts are building right now. Crypto Keeper, your excitement giggle to think we're that close. Now, it's excitement and nervousness, right? Like I know what it's like in this market to go through phases like that when we reach levels of extreme euphoria. It actually isn't that pleasant for me on the YouTube channel. Because then, all the quote, technical analysts on YouTube, they begin their posturing, they begin their tweeting, they begin their trash talk, and they begin all that stuff, and everyone tries to bury me. And that's just how it ends up going in those moments. So they're actually not that fun, but pretty sure selling some bags will feel pretty good and pretty bad at the same time. But it'll make the burn feel a little bit better. But if we are in that phase and it's getting very close and the breadth opens way up, we'll get it going. Jack, member for 38 months, says, "Happy Wednesday, brother. Glad you're feeling a little better." Thank you, sir. Concetta, thanks so much for showing up. You sound sickly. LOL, feel better. Go. Yeah, I forgot to mention the nose. There's some nose congestion in there, so you could probably hear that. And I can also tell because as weird it is that I always wear my headphones when I'm recording or when I'm doing these live streams. And I can tell right now it's a lot harder for me to hear myself, as if like maybe my ears are clogged a little bit. I sound real muffled to myself right now, and that's not how I don't sound like how I usually sound. Kashav Lakshman says, "Hey BCB, do you plan to sell your remaining Bitcoin? Also, is there a chance you rent your XRP positions later in the year if the chart shows confluence?" Right. So like my bags, I'm very diversified throughout the cryptocurrency market. I own a ton of coins, right? All spread throughout user activity, development activity, percentage drawdowns, all that stuff. I'm just super diverse. I just have a diversified portfolio. I don't have time to sit there and day trade every single little thing. I've got exposure to the market, and that's just how it is. My thoughts are we're going to see an event like this end up happening. I'm exposed to it. Maybe a quarter of my coins end up being big winners, and that's awesome. But the end plan when we get down here is to tighten everything up really, really tight and go down to just like 5 coins, right? And one of them absolutely is Bitcoin, and one of them, Bitcoin being one of the larger holdings in there, if not the largest. So just with how I'm allocated right now, and it's so altcoin exposure, since I'm still, I've talked about this many times, just selling 65 to 70% of my portfolio. I'm not selling my whole thing. That there's just not going to be a reason for me to have to sell the Bitcoin because I'm going to be increasing my Bitcoin exposure for what I remain in the market, right? I'll still think the market's going to go down. Don't be fooled. But I'll still hold like 30% of my crypto. It's just going to be tightened up into things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP of what I do have left. So with my current allocation to Bitcoin and the amount of allocation I want Bitcoin to be in the future, it's unlikely that I'll be selling any of my Bitcoin just because it's not like I'm sitting here 70% in Bitcoin or something like that. If that was the case, then yes, for sure I would be. But that's not how my allocation is right now. Corey says, if alt season ends within 2 months, most alts won't even reach their March highs. Only our beloved XRP and a couple others would be mooning. Do you expect more retail to enter? Aren't they here yet? Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I think we are absolutely, unquestionably seeing the same dynamics of 2021. It's going to be very few winners in the end, right? And it doesn't mean they all don't move up similar percentages from right here. Like if everything moves up 300% from here, great. But, like XRP's chart will just look more impressive if it moves up 300% from here, because then it's going to reach a 4.236 extension, right? Right. You go up 300%. Right. Even right, 300%, get to $11 or something crazy like that, right? That chart's going to look really impressive, right? That's going to draw in retail. That's going to draw in the crowd. That's going to be exciting. But if you did that on things like even ADA, for example, right? it's just not going to look as impressive compared to the past. Let's do a different one. Let's do like, I don't know, let me do Atom. I mean, like if Atom goes up 300%. Right, it's just not going to look impressive. I think Atom has a case to get to retracements, but boy, it's a hard argument to say it's going to go into all-time highs at this point. Right? I think ADA still has the case for it. This looks real similar to like what we were looking like back in 2020. Let me go over here. Kraken. Right, so like this is another thing too. Like we've talked about this a lot. Look where you are, right? This is where capitulation on altcoins is happening. We're not going to get it all season. This is where you are. This is that moment. It's the exact same moment of where you were right here. So all ducks are all lined up, whether you're looking at how they were set up in the past, how much time has happened, right? This is the first rally off the lows. Here you are, the first rally up happening in here. And now you're here where the rally could take place and get going. You also have Bitcoin at the same phase, if this is distribution. And then you have the dominance at the exact same location at the exact same time. So, but yes, I totally agree. I with how separated this market has gotten, to have total 3 looking like this back at the highs still. You know, you got some coins in just absolute depression. You have others at all-time highs. And you have a lot of stuff that's just mid-pack. You would assume it's just death and destruction out there. Yet the altcoin market cap looks like this, right? It's because it's so separated out there right now. So, expecting more retail to enter. It's usually how it goes. It's usually how it goes. You know, we're now at the phase where Jim Cramer's going on national television and telling people to buy Bitcoin. That's exactly what he did in here. It's exactly what he did in here. Mr. Q, member for 16 months. Since 2017, Ethereum has always been green on February, except one time. Just till 2024, it's been green. So the odds for ETH pump are very high in February. Interesting. I haven't put that together. I have a hard time with the whole month stuff. I know a lot of people try to draw conclusions from months, but it's like every year. What was it? The last 2 years, people have been saying we're going to have a red September. We have green Septembers both times, both in 2023 and in 2024. So I guarantee it, when we get to September of 2025, everybody's going to be talking about red September coming. And maybe not this time, because the last 2 times it wasn't. But there's always that stuff that ends up happening. But historically, yeah, this time of the year, this many years into it, this is when we tend to see things really end up happening. And we've got all these things all lined up for it. So I think there's a chance for it. This seems like it's it, mixed with all the retail capitulation and the overwhelming confidence that we're not going to see anything happen when we're right at the cusp of it. And it's crazy to me because we have, of course, XRP way up here. It's like, again, I think just like XRP holders, like you don't realize how good you've got it. You've had it really bad for a long time. We've had it really bad for a very long time. But the market is totally in a different sentiment place right now compared to what XRP people are dealing with right now. Life is good right now for XRP people. Mr. Q, thank you, brother. Alaric, I've been homeless in Sydney for nearly 3 years, not much longer now. Fellow Aussies, I'm moving to the Philippines. Get out before it's time to sell and pay no tax on your crypto. All right, brother, thank you. Good luck out there. Grippy Socks, as an XRP meme holder, I feel the pain. Oh, you're holding meme coins. Yeah. I learned a while ago, the best strategy is to just be a jeter and jeet that stuff You could become a long-term hodler of those coins. They go one place, and that is down. Ride the hype and move on. Hot Tub Brian, my brother, gives 20 BCB memberships. Sir, thank you so much. Very kind of you, man. Holy cow. Jaxer, I desperately hope the Fed cuts the lip smack and hard swallows from their broadcast. Happy Frog. I hope you feel 100% by breakout. Yeah. I can tell you right now, today, I'm like 80% better than what I was yesterday. Thank you very much, man. 20 months. BP Player, Lurker here. Follower since 2020. I'm hoping you feel better and your family is safe. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Clouds Bra. Hey, BC. I've been tuned in since 20. You covered Matic briefly on Twitter in your live last year. What do you think of the price action now? Wyckoff? It's got to be Wyckoff or dead, right? It's got to be Wyckoff. It's crazy with which is, of course, it's now called POL, like POL. But man, the user activity on that thing, it's truly insane how poor it's performing. Craig Tilbury, thank you very much, man. Hey, BCB, you've talked about a short squeeze and a violent backtest on XRP. Are there any likely technical areas for the moves to reach? Thanks. We're talking about to the upside. I mean, you got extension levels you can look at right in there, right? $5, $4.50, right? And we'll see if it shows up earlier or not. I can tell you right now, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. I've spent a lot of time thinking about where would I think it would go to before it would end up doing it. Like if it did get this, right? Where would this end up at? And I'm really not sure. I think I'd have to see more price development come out. But I've definitely spent a lot of time trying to think about that. And I haven't come up with a genuinely confident answer that I could give you that I feel okay with. Craig, thank you, brother. JB Estrada, member for 14 months. You talked about Bitcoin being FU money in the past. Is XRP about to become that? What else do you see being a part of that scenario? Well, that was a culture thing in crypto back in the day, is that Bitcoin was FU money. Now, what Bitcoin is today is absolutely nothing of what it used to be. It's a whole new generation of people. It's a totally different culture. It's a banker's coin. I mean, that's the only way you can really say what it is, right? We want the government to own us. We want the banks to own us. It's absolutely not what it used to be. It was a way to check out of the system, but now it's a way to completely integrate with the system. And if the idea that they're fighting the idea that the government should own other crypto. If they don't own Bitcoin, then they can't own any of them. Like, it's insane. Like, these guys are nuts. This is not what Bitcoin is. The culture is different. It is 100% about make the price of my bags go up. That's it. The culture of Bitcoin is dead. Straight up gone. Right. If there's FU money out there, it's Monero. That's the only one. That is the only one. So yeah, that's the only one I would consider FU money. Chris Merrill, do you have any idea why MicroStrategy acts like retail and buys tops? Serious question. I'm not real familiar with all the ins and outs of, how they can get their money, right? Price goes up, there's a lot more liquidity, they can sell more stock, right? Then when price goes down, there's not as much liquidity, they can't sell as much stock, and they can't buy as much. I think it has a lot more to do with the ebbs and flows of MicroStrategy's volume. I'm not 100% certain on that because I don't follow all that. But from my lack of understanding, I believe it just has a lot to do with a lot of that stuff. When can they get money and how do they get money? But it does always feel like a retail trap. But I agree. I don't like. I agree with a lot of the analysis out there. Like, I don't know how it ends well. You know, when it reaches a leverage breaking point for MicroStrategy, and what will that mean? And I'm not trying to cause fear, but you know, there's always that risk out there. Obviously, they're not in that boat right now, but it'll be interesting. All right, Jonas Fugalis, get well and thank you for showing up. Jonas, thank you, brother. Go to the gym, bro. Gets 5 BCB memberships. Hate to say it, I have not been going to the gym this week. Chris Merrill, also hit the like button. Thank you. Moses, Benny, hey BCB, your price targets on XP is still 9 to 11? Yep. Nothing changes. Wick 589. Why is this range so dramatic? Low high prices feel so static. Give me patience. I won't be a slacker. Grant me the restraint of blockchain backer. There we go. We got a little poem. Thank you. Wick 589, brother. Thank you. Verla. What do you think about EOS? It's been acting strange. No movement at all. EOS is just, it doesn't show up in any data of anything. Users, development, anything. I mean, I think it's one of those things. If the market rips up, it'll probably move with it. But does it have the juice to become anything, to like go into all-time highs? Highly doubt it. Could you compare the XCN chart to XRP? It looks like a roadmap. I don't follow that coin, so unfortunately I'm not going to pull it up. I should have said that at the beginning, guys. Don't super chat asking for me to pull up altcoins. I don't have that. I don't follow that one. It's it definitely hasn't followed. No, I wouldn't correlate those two in any way. It's just a straight line up. Right. If you buy that at this point, you're kind of crazy. All right, Sebastian Albors, member for 18 months. BCB, I've been following you for 3 years. Last week, sold some XRP so we could buy our first home. Dude, congrats. Thanks for the years of showing up. I'm still riding with a big bag. That's amazing. Yeah, for a lot of people, they're in life-changing wealth right now. For all the people who did it. We're fighting the capitulation monster. We're fighting the FUD monsters right now to try to get out of the all-time high. But man, mad respect to anybody who's just doing life-changing things. And there's not many things that can change your life. One thing, of course, is buying a house. That's a huge thing that can change your life. Buying a new car, a new fancy car doesn't really change your life a whole lot. But like getting out of an apartment and into a house, that's a life-changing thing. Or getting out of your parents' house into a house, that's a big thing. You know, when I look back on milestones in my own life financially, what was the biggest thing ever? And the biggest one ever was getting out of debt. That was such a change in mentality and life, and nothing really compared to that one, right? I've gotten nice things since then, but nothing compared to what happened when the debt was not overhanging anymore. So no matter what in all of this, don't let that one escape your hands. If you got that one locked in, man, it just mentally changes you completely. Everything you do in your life changes, and the way you act changes. You don't give two rats about having a fancy anything. You know you're good. You know you're not in debt. You don't need to impress anybody. Raymond Lee, hey, thanks for the dedication. Hope you feel better quickly. It's Wednesday, my dude. Did we even get the frog yet, or did I miss it? Man, my bad. Let's do it again.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dude. Dudes.
There we go. Thank you, Raymond. Joe, peace. New member, welcome. Thank you. Vincent MC, member for 11 months. Thank you very much, brother. Jack, if you would have told me a month ago that a U.S. president would release a meme coin, I would have laughed in your face. It's crazy times. Yeah, it's almost been a black swan for the meme coin market, hasn't it? It's been a crazy event. What happened with that? Just like it was shocking, completely shocking. No way this is real. How do you even interpret this? What does it mean? I mean, just insane. Still, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. BCB Padawan, member for 19 months, says, good morning, all. Hit the like button. It's free. Thank you very much. JB Heavy Equipment Services, member for 15 months, says, LFG, thanks for helping keep our emotions in check. Excuse me. JB, thank you, man. Jason Emerson says, AVAX, thoughts on all-time high of about 100 different altcoins and about 15 different meme coins. I'm glad to hear that you're super wide with your portfolio, too. 4.3, please, or more. I'm a bit greedy sometimes. I can't, brother, I'm sorry. I'm not going to pull it up because I just want to remain consistent with everybody and like, hey, man, you didn't do mine. Why'd you do his? I don't see any evidence yet of AVAX doing anything special, right? Things that are like holding up and doing things special. Like my bets at this point, if we just go based on who is like showing strength, right? You have things that are like showing strength. Then you have things that look like the altcoin market cap. And then you have things that are weaker, right? And like the things that I think are showing strength so far, well, if that changes, we'll address it. But right now it's like XRP, Hedera, and that is HBAR, and XRP, Cardano, oh boy, the brain fog is hitting in. XRP, Cardano, and Hedera. Those are the ones that appear to be showing the strength. Mo419, do you think the next push up, violent V bottom, then go to 4.36 can happen in such a short time frame shown on the Bitcoin dominance that's left? Could. And be frank, if we get down here, it'll be like, hey, forget that whole V bottom thing. This is it. Crypto Horatio says, is the ETH Bitcoin bottom of a crash retrace reaccumulation? Well, it hasn't shown any jump off support. Now, I don't track that one very close. But, I see other people that like I respect who are like, this was kind of their target area where it's at right now. I'm just looking over here at the price chart and I say to myself, I think this thing is going to break out, right? Eventually this thing is going to break out in a big way. And it's likely going to occur in congruence with everything else going on at the market at the same time. Julian Robbins says, BCB, is it typical that Ethereum and Ethereum projects steal the show for a bit, even a week, especially given the sentiment and shift that would come? Thanks. Yeah, I would think so, right? And it's kind of like that with XRP. If you look on it, like there's like certain coins that XRP holders hold, right? Like they don't just hold XRP. They're all in like these same baskets of things like XDC, and I don't really remember the other ones, right? But there's like a basket of coins they all hold together, right? And or Stellar Lumens, right? And like when XRP is ripping, typically all these other coins that the same community owns, they tend to go together too, right? They have more profits. They rotate those profits and move them around and buy those other things, and it moves everything up together. That's all kind of related to each other. I would suspect the same behavior in Ethereum and Ethereum-related ecosystems as well, just because that's the dynamic that typically ends up happening. Trent Moe. Started off listening to 15 YouTubers last year. Now I'm down to 3 that I really trust. You made the cut. Let's go, bro. Trent, thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Eric, I've been watching you since 2021. You're the best in the game. Hoping for an $8 XRP. Smiley face. Eric, thank you. Me too. BT7274 says, what's it going to take for Bullion videos? Probably if there's like a clear signal that crypto is topped, and then if silver starts bull running, my viewership will get cut down to 10%. But, you know, that is what it is. Like, bear markets and crypto provide that anyway. It cuts it down anyway. But yeah, it'd have to be kind of a pivot on the channel, talking more broadly about things and stuff too. Corey says, if you expect Bitcoin to go into a bear market, why do you want to swap some profits into it at 100K? Much love, BCB, right? So you have to understand how I operate, and everybody operates completely different. I'm going to remove like 65 to 75% of the USD value completely out of the market. That's just what I'm going to do. 65, 70% completely out of the market. I'm still going to hold 30% of my bag. It's just how it goes, right? There's always the off chance that I'm wrong, right? If it goes ripping to the moon, I've got a bag. If it crashes and crumbles to the ground, I took out enough. That's just how I operate. Everybody has to find their own number, where they're happy at, what they're comfortable with. I just share with you how I do it. Everybody wants to say all in, all out at the Pico top and at the Pico bottom. Nobody does it, right? And I don't put that pressure on me to have to do it. But yeah, just reallocating my portfolio and it being, 30%. Oh, will XRP be seen as a meme and go well beyond target? Well, that's what people hope for, but I'm not going to bet on that. You do have to wonder what the narrative is going to be like when the Bitcoin maxis come in, when they're selling all their precious Bitcoins to buy XRP. It'll be a sight to behold. Have you noticed these Bitcoin maxis are getting their best engagement ever? They're like, oh my gosh, if I tweet about XRP, I get more than 12 engagements. I'm getting like 500. So they just keep going. They're just like, yeah, I'm getting engagement, finally. And they're not putting the dots together. They're not putting the dots together that they're getting their best engagement with XRP. Do you realize, how do you not make that connection of what's happening there? Steve S. Call me Kenny. All right, Kenny. I invested since 2018. I got my mom to invest with me. She has a huge bag. It's going to help her retire early. She follows you too. All right. Kenny's mom, what's up? Stephen Edinburgh, member for 8 months. 2 years ago, I found you by accident. I didn't have any interest in investing. Did your course and now financially independent. Hard work pays. The GOAT. Man, that's crazy. Stephen. Thank you, brother. Member for 8 months. Miguel Astorga, new member. Welcome. Jason Emerson. Thanks, sir. I understand your policy now. Thank you, brother. Call McKinney again. Mom's retiring early because I got her to invest big in 2018. Thanks to you. Man, it's all you guys, man. Whenever you guys I don't want any of the credit, because that's a cold, hard reality. I'm just a guy who comes on YouTube. I talk about stuff. I'm here every day. I try to show you the things that I see. In the end, it's all on you to hit the buy button. It's all on you to hit the sell button, or to sit around and do nothing. It's entirely on you. I'm just a guy who shows up every day, right? But thank you. Purex, what do you think about EOS? Not heard much about it. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts about it because I don't hear about it either. Mark C., are you still concerned about a depression this bear? Yeah, for sure. Right? Nothing has changed with the idea of being a rotational top in equity markets. Yeah. It's still a concern because the equity markets are as high as they were in the roaring 20s. We haven't had a good old-fashioned leverage wipeout in the stock market in quite some time. Jack, I'll be in the 10% for the bullion content. All right, thanks, Jack. Crypto DKO. Get better, BCB. After this run-up is over, do you think Bitcoin could drop to 3 to 4K? You mentioned that in the past. I don't know. I do think... we'll see these prices again down here. Eventually. I do think we'll see these. Question is what's going on with macro after that? And is that just one stopping point for it to go down to another? But I do think we'll see down here again one day. Whether we have to go up further before we get there. But I think one day. I think it just, I think it's also the unanswered question, right? The unanswered question that doesn't exist is what happens to Bitcoin in the event that the stock market turns over for good. In the event that this parabola comes to a conclusion, right? What happens to Bitcoin in that circumstance, right? It's likely to come down there at some point. Well, Bitcoin was created right here. So all the bull runs for Bitcoin are in this, and all the bull runs take place during breakouts. So what happens in a complete change of markets? We don't know, right? Ion, hey, BC Backer, I know in 2021 you sometimes went over the charts of other coins. What do you think the trajectory of coins like ETC over Dash this year for alt? Oh, brother, I'm sorry, man. I'm not covering altcoins right now because we have 4,000 people in here right now just kind of going over random charts. Maybe we'll do a stream one day where it's like, all right, we'll do altcoins today, but I have to be mindful of everybody's time, and I'm already at an hour. I appreciate the super chat. I just don't want to, I know I look like a jerk. But I, inform everybody that we're not going to cover individual altcoins. And I don't know what you can really draw from those two particular altcoins against each other. But I appreciate the support, Ion. Carl, good morning, BCB. What's the reason you prefer Bitcoin dominance plus Ethereum dominance plus USD dominance plus USDC dominance over Bitcoin dominance when you look for alt season? Thank you. I explained this quite a few times, but I don't mind explaining it again. Back in 2017 through 2021, we didn't have a stablecoin market at the time. You did have Tether, but Tether in itself represented $1 billion. And, you often hear about Tether being depegged, right? We haven't heard about that in quite some time, Tether getting depegged. But it would get depegged like crazy back then. Hold on. Let me show you the volatility of Tether back in the day. I've got to go to another chart. Hold on. Okay, here we go. No, that's not a good one. Trying to find a good chart that goes way back. Gemini, Bitstamp. Okay. Here you go. This is Tether back during the 2017 bull run. And here's Tether during 2018. you could just see the stability of being pegged to 1 cent or $1 was very difficult. Look, here's April of 2017 and May of 2017. We went through a major depegging event right here where Tether goes down to 89 cents. And it stays down here at like 90 cents for almost a month, being completely depegged. Then it's just volatile all around it, all throughout 2017. And so then we get into 2018, then you get into the capitulation event and it depegs once again, right? We had a slight depegging over here at the capitulation, right? Let's see. There you go. There's the depeg that happens during capitulation back there in 2022. But nothing nearly as extreme as what you could see in the past, right? This is 2017. This is 2018. So this was the only stablecoin there was, and the market cap of it was $1 billion, whereas the market cap of stablecoins right now, I don't even know what they are off the top of my head, but probably like something like $60 or $70 billion, right? Tether's $139 billion, right? USDC is $52 billion. So there's over $200 billion market cap for stablecoins, where it was $1 billion back in here. So back then, if you wanted to stay within the cryptocurrency market and you wanted to seek any type of safety during volatility or during a bear market, it wasn't necessarily safe to go hang out in stablecoins like it has been this time around. And the place people would go to is Bitcoin. So you either had to go to a centralized exchange and sell everything for dollars and withdraw your dollars out of the market, which was like Coinbase at the time. You weren't going to be doing that on like Poloniex or Bittrex. But you could over there on like Coinbase. I don't even remember if Kraken did back then. I can't remember. Right? Were you able to buy, like, right? Is that recent? That it was only like in the last like 4 years that you could actually use cash to buy crypto at Kraken? I think you had to transfer it in back in the day. But anyway, to seek safety, people would go to Bitcoin. And so the Bitcoin dominance was always a safety trade. Well, this time around, Ethereum held up insanely well throughout the entire bear market. It's not until recently that Ethereum's dominance has really started collapsing. But with the introduction of a real stablecoin market, that's been where safety has been seeked. So the safety trade has been a mix of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stablecoins at the same time, rather than just Bitcoin. So this has been the thing we discovered a while ago. We've used this since back in 2023, and it still has remained true up until this point. So until proven otherwise, I'm going to stick with it. And it's been working pretty well so far. And we just so happen to get to where we think we should be right when we're where we should be. So we'll see how it goes. Hope that answered it for you, Cole. Viddy50, the super chat, thank you. And then Sean, because of you in 2019, I put 80% of our life savings in XRP. Okay, first of all, I don't even promote you doing that. That's insane. It's been a very rough ride. I took 40% out at $3. Okay, thank goodness. I'm now debt-free and ready to retire. Thank you for the guidance. Okay, I did not guide you to do that. That was you. That was insane. I don't do that. I don't do that. But good for you. You did it. You hit the jackpot. Congratulations. That's amazing. Sean, I'm very happy for you. That's amazing. Nobody do that, though. Nobody do that. Responsibility. Because things can go the other way. They can always go the other way. But there you go, debt-free and ready to retire. There you go, man. Jake Art, hey BCB, long-time lurker, you've changed my life. Underrated phrase you've coined. Fancy when moon. Yeah. It's just a fancy when moon question. Jake, thank you. Albarn, thanks BCB. It's been already 5 consecutive green week candles going on with XRP over USDT. What do you think of it? Never seen 6 consecutive green week candles before. Do you think it can be extended this time? I don't know. I'm not too concerned about the number of weeks that it does it. And you know, if it turned red, I wouldn't necessarily be panicked. Nah, I mean, it didn't really matter to me. But I mean, it's cool. It's a cool fact, right? Thank you very much for the support, though. Just a dude on the internet. When else? See, that was a double joke. His name, and the super chat. Thank you. And then JT, thank you, very generous. JT Darkside, I've been here since 2017. Thanks, BC Backer, for keeping our emotions in check. JT, thank you. It was very kind. It's your first one. Thank you. Vidi50 says, hey, BCB, which treasuries will you be invested in? Well, see, there's always those things of agnostic, of being like, I know that I don't know. So I try to make my best guesses based on what I don't know. And when I say that, it's that I don't know what the Fed's going to do, right? Like, I don't know if they're in a long-term cutting cycle or hiking cycle or pausing cycle or whatnot. So I like to buy lots of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 month treasuries, and I just let them sit there and auto renew. So that's the way I do it. The affirmative carnivore says, outside of Nancy Pelosi, you're the most accurate investor that I know. Thanks for all that you do, BCB. I don't know about that. I don't know. I get plenty of things wrong, guys. So, we're definitely living in a good moment with XRP, though, right? Like, gosh. Hard to believe it. Hard to believe it. Living in the moment. Living in it. So, all right, there we go. I'm really happy that I made it through the stream. I still feel pretty good. We are going to wrap it up right now, though. I'm grateful that you showed up today. I'm grateful I'm just feeling good to be able to do this. I can't tell you the last 2 days, especially when I wrote that community note yesterday, and I was like, guys, I've got brain fog. I've got 102 fever. Any content I was going to put out yesterday was going to be 100% forced. It was going to be just forced out of my mouth. I had nothing. But today I feel so much better. So I'm grateful that I'm feeling better and able to come back. Today's the big Fed meeting. And, that's when we'll check in with each other again. We'll do another live stream at that time. That's going to be close to 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific. You'll have to check your own local times and figure out when that is. I do set up the stream ahead of time, so you'll get notified. As long as you have notifications turned on for the channel, you'll get notified when that goes. And then we'll hook up again later to do all that. Of course, you guys can check out the newsletter over here at blockchainbacker.substack.com. I audio record all of these. We'll have another one of those out on Friday. You can check out bcbacker.com for over 40 videos and 11 hours of content teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. There are links in the description of this video. Otherwise, as I bid you farewell for the next 3 hours when I see you again.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
I want to thank you so much for watching. So, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will check in with you guys again in 3 hours from right now. And hopefully we get a positive market reaction out of this. Expected that the Fed is going to pause, so no surprises there. And we'll see if we get a catapult in equity markets at the same time to give us some movement over here in crypto. But all right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.